Hey, what's up, guys? Matt Stone talking president today. Less than a year away from the 2024 USA presidential election. Who's it going to be? Um, First of all, no way Biden's going to run. I do not believe it. I haven't believed it for a minute. I think it was really telling when RFK Jr. entered the race as a Democratic hopeful that Biden remained in the race because they couldn't have this big open competition between a bunch of people with equal chances, or else RFK Jr. would have gotten the nomination. Democratic Party certainly doesn't want that. He's a huge threat to everything that they stand for, and he's an anti-establishment candidate, and they're loving having Biden in there, the most establishment candidate ever, maybe. So, yeah, there was no way they were going to basically just have Biden drop out and have an open competition. Yeah, way too risky to do that. So Biden remained in the race. They pretended, not in the race, but he's the incumbent. So that allowed them to basically just ignore RFK Jr. and treat him like he wasn't even running. And eventually he got frustrated and dropped out and declared as an independent. And so what will happen now, they'll continue this process with Biden pretending like he's going to run for quite a while. And then at some point, when it's too late to have an open and fair nomination process, they'll just kind of crown the new Democrat to be and usher that person in to run for president in 2024. I don't expect that announcement to come for quite some time, but probably going to be Gavin Newsome. If you check Vegas odds and stuff like that to see what the odds are for president, you see some other names on there like Michelle Obama. I don't know if she will be like a last minute announcement as Gavin Newsom's running mate or something like that. But it's pretty clear that, the only reason Biden won is because he was riding on Obama's coattails. Putting Michelle and Obama in there as part of the ticket, I think will, everybody who liked Obama and wants an Obama-like person back, that's going to be a very powerful thing to contend with. So anyway, I picture a Gavin Newsom ticket with or without Michelle Obama involved. And that's going to be pretty tough to beat. Trump, like I said, I made a video maybe a month ago talking about RFK Jr. and how I thought, obviously a strong independent was super compelling, and I was really excited about it. Still am excited about it. Independent means, you just don't know what a person is. So if we had a bunch of independent politicians, they could all believe and stand for different things, and we could have a huge diversity of interests kind of out there competing in Congress and, in politics in general. It'd be awesome. Instead, we just get this binary, like, you got to jump on board with everything that your party is for, and you have to automatically be against everything that the opposing party is for, which is, just stupid. We have political gridlock, and, it's dumb. And more importantly, that trickles down into society, and we have, kind of these like two warring ideologies that hate each other. That goes down to the citizen level, which is really toxic. I know lots of people have lost family members over different political affiliations and stuff that, I never saw back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Anyway, but Trump is a huge, very strong candidate still. He's lost a lot of his mojo, but at the same time, he's picked up a lot of steam by being martyred with these kind of like ticky-tack allegations against him. You may not see him as ticky-tack, but they're ticky-tack enough to where it's very unlikely that he's actually going to be forbidden from running. And if he wins that legal battle and is still able to run, it just makes him look all the much stronger. So I see him coming out and being stronger. But, remains to be seen. The big surprise here, and what I find really interesting, is that I was hoping for RFK Jr., not necessarily because of what he stands for. I'm pretty on board with a lot of what he talks about, but that's really irrelevant. I saw Trump as an important disruptor, and as a first step, don't care what he's about or what he did. I just care that he disrupted things, and I like that. And I think RFK Jr. is the second stage of disruption that is really important. So even if you hate the guy and think he's a terrible dude, it doesn't matter. I'd put Ted Bundy in there as an independent if he were going to win, because it's an important stepping stone to getting away from this two-party gridlock, which is just terrible. I haven't voted in a presidential election since 2004. That was a turning point for me. That's when, George W. Bush led us all into war under false pretenses that there were WMDs over there in Iraq, and led us into war and just slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people, or at least hundreds of thousands of people died due to this instability in the region that was caused by that. And it was like the worst thing I've ever seen. And then he got reelected. So from that point, for me, it was like, the politicians are not the problem. It's the voters. So I have the utmost disdain for the people, probably like most politicians. And I don't have put much faith in people to elect the best person, but I'm really surprised at what we're seeing in the RFK's Jr.'s early polling numbers. I was hoping for something, in the double digits. That would be enough. Like, hey, we got a year to go, something in the double digits. He looks viable. But there's polls coming out with him in the 20s, certain demographics in the 30s, in the high 30s, certain polls where in certain demographics he's leading Biden and Trump. I don't know. I think it's going to take, like I said, like Michelle Obama coming out of the woodwork or something to beat RFK Jr. I actually think if I had to bet money on it, especially with the bad odds, the long odds that RFK Jr. has, there's no doubt I'd put money on that. I do think people are just really hungry for an independent and something different. Trump was, kind of a tell at how desperate people are for something different. And we tried Trump, and this is kind of new and compelling. There's also just tons of people who, there's just so much unfinished business with the Kennedys, right? I mean, probably the most beloved politician in the world over the last 60 years, John F. Kennedy, and him getting assassinated, plus Bobby, is just, it really shows that that's the really anti-establishment family, and there is something peculiar going on. And Kennedy is, an incredibly powerful name to be entering into the political ring, because there's so many people who they like the vision of the Kennedys, and that dream never got fulfilled, and that's just going to carry a lot of weight. I do think, like I said, people, they want to, having any association with Obama is going to be helpful. Hillary Clinton almost won because of Bill Clinton. Bush Jr. won because of his dad being president. We got a couple of Roosevelts and things like that. So I do think that that sort of having a name like a royal is, people still just naturally are, I don't know, infatuated with families and names, and I don't know. Kennedy is a big name. Unless you were like a direct descendant of Abraham Lincoln or something, I don't see how you could do much better than having Kennedy as a last name if you're running for president. So I think it's over. I think it's over for the Democrats and Republicans. Honestly, like this is not just wishful thinking. The poll numbers are shocking. I think RFK Jr. Will win this, barring some kind of big shocking announcement that electrifies people from, a Gavin Newsome, Michelle Obama kind of ticket. So anyway, at the same time, they're, kind of circumnavigating the democratic process by trying to anoint Gavin Newsome as the head of the Democrats, instead of having a free, open, and fair process to get a nominee. So I don't know. It's kind of messed up. That tilts me, even farther towards RFK Jr. in that scenario. So anyway, we'll see how it turns out. Any predictions? What are your predictions? You think, I'm just talking out my ass here, or you think you think RFK Jr. really has a shot? And do you like him? Do you hate him? Why would you vote for him or not vote for him? Again, like I said, I don't really care. He could be the worst dude in the world. I would vote for Pauly Shore, Ted Bundy, whoever, if they were a viable independent, and he's a viable independent. I don't think anybody could argue otherwise at this point. Dude's last name is Kennedy, so I just, no matter what, I want to see that stepping stone. I want to see, baby steps away from two-party system. It just wouldn't matter who was running, and at the same time, like I said, I like his general vibe and cut of his jib or whatever that saying is. Anyway, talk to you guys soon. Let me know what you think. Peace.